Guys, I'm back with another celebrity food log, and this time I guess last time I had to move away from people.com. I had to step away. I'm visiting another website today called The Guardian. You may know it. It's a British website, so the people that they've spoken to for this food diary are British, and I didn't know any of the American people anyway, so I don't know any of these people except for Nigella Lawson, who I know from growing up, and my mom always watched PBS Food or Food Network. I guess Nigella Lawson would have been on Food Network in the US. Anyway, I always thought that she was like the British version of, she's sort of like, as well, to child me, she was a mix of Ina and Jada De Laurentiis. And there's something mellow and kind about her. And her story kind of reminds me of Padma's, where she had a terrible husband and was abused. Anyway, I'm on The Guardian. I'm on this page, and there's a warning at the top letting me know that this article is more than 12 years old. So I'm not really putting breaking news out there. Maybe you read this 12 years ago. This was published the 26th of October, 2012. And they had let me just read. The title is called My Life on a Plate, Famous Foodies' Food Diaries. Are Nigella's days spent scoffing chocolate cakes? Does Heston blow torches dinner every night? And what does The Guardian's restaurant critic eat when off duty? We asked 6 foodies to share their week in meals with illuminating results. Oh, well, maybe they interviewed 6 people, but I think that only 4 people are... No, I'm wrong. I don't think everybody is... Anyway, actually, maybe I do know Angela Hartnett, but I actually didn't see hers here. I think they deleted some of them. Anyway, what I like about these... Well, first of all, they're food people. They're not Jennifer Lopez eating salmon. So they have a little bit... Their food lives are a little bit more interesting. Although that theory doesn't hold up because People.com interviewed Gail, the host of Top Chef, I read her food diary in a previous episode, and it was boring. So these are a little bit more dynamic, and what I like is that they don't just go through a day, it's multiple days. So you really see what these people are doing over the course of time and the sort of ebbs and flows of their food habits. And they also are very anecdotal. It's not just a list of foods, in the same way that People.com present their food diaries, and actually the way that I present my food diaries. Very matter of fact. These food diaries are like little vignettes, almost poems. And it's actually kind of inspiring, and I'm wondering if this is going to influence the way that I do or I record my food. Because actually, now that I am reading my food diaries aloud on a weekly basis, I've noticed as I'm making the food or eating it, I have thoughts and I write them down in my food log. I have context surrounding the food that I want to bring into the podcast. I want to explore, elaborate on, and maybe I should just leave that in. I don't know. I don't know if I want to switch up the format of my food log when it's been so consistent for 5-6 years now, or if those pieces of context are making for a richer experience on the page, because I don't want to force people to have to listen to the podcast to get all the information out of it. I don't know. I'll give you an example. The other week, my food log, I talked about a frozen pizza that I ate that looked like it had been crushed in a car door. And I actually left that in the food log. I said a frozen pizza that looked like it had been crushed in a car door. And I've never really done that before, but I kind of think that that adds, I don't, and especially as I'm going back into the archives and reading through what I ate, it doesn't have any dimension to it, and it sort of needs context. So anyway, let me read through Nigella's, and you'll get an idea. I'll read through her food log, and you'll get an idea of what exactly I mean, and whether or not this is a something I should incorporate into my own food log. Okay. So I scrolled down to Nigella Lawson, and there is a photo of her from 2012, I'm going to assume. And she looks a little American Apparel pilgrim, I'm going to say. Maybe ballerina. So she's wearing a really skin-tight top. It almost looks like it could be a leotard that she has like a skirt or pants over. And I thought it was maybe a light pink collar, but I think it's a cutout, and then it has like a halter around the neck. And now that I'm thinking about it, it's definitely a cutout, and it's kind of hideous. It kind of looks like something you'd wear to a Pilates class. It's very pilgrim, Puritan, Pilates, American Apparel. And then she's at the corner of a table, which is intersecting her stomach, and there's food all over it. It kind of looks like Lori Lightfoot and her food spread. There is a bottle of Dolan that's tipped over on its side, Vegemite, dry mustard. I mean, quintessential British foods, I guess. Eggs, lemons, a piece of brown bread, avocado, leeks. So let's see if she incorporates those ingredients into her food diary. Okay, so this is the format. It says Monday, and then it lists the meals, and within those meals, it has a description. So, okay, Monday, breakfast. Egg on toast, wolfed down too fast for a picture, but this is the ideal, and it's often repeated. Whole grain rye toast with a soft boiled egg smushed on top with lots of Maldon salt and coarsely ground white pepper. Straight after breakfast, made a batch of coffee, ice cream, and chocolate nougat cookies to take to curry favor with various radio and TV interviews that I have lined up for that day. I wonder if they're just like, oh, yeah, I'll write down what I'm doing on a very busy day, so it looks like I'm doing something. White pepper, I have to say, I don't know if I'm really into white pepper. I think it has it has like a back of your mouth scent that sort of reminds me of meat that is a little bit off. There's something about it that I don't like. It something processed about it. I don't know. Anyway, I really like the detail, and it really paints a picture of what her morning was like and what she was doing that day and why she was eating what she's eating. And this is sort of inspiring me. I love that she made coffee ice cream. I've mentioned before, one of my top fave flavors. It is a nostalgic flavor for me. And I'm wondering though, like, she made coffee ice cream and then she took it to her busy day. Like, and then it like melted. I don't understand that. Was she like carrying a cooler filled with dry ice around? I don't know. But egg on toast is fantastic, and I'm glad that she's eating that. Okay, lunch. I'm not good when I miss meals. Being hungry makes me both murderous and suicidal. So didn't feel good that I didn't manage to get back for lunch until about 4:30 p.m. and had to leave the house for the next thingy at 5 p.m. So all I had time for was some rye toast with hummus and coriander on top, and a far too small portion at that. Okay, she's kind of reminding me of me. I'm not really rushing around. I mean, because this is actually what I've been eating. I ate egg on toast this morning. No, I didn't. But usually I've been eating a lot of egg on toast and hummus with focaccia. So it's funny that she said that she feels suicidal, because I feel like you could not write that today and get away with it. Supper. Roast chicken. I have all the bits with cartilage and skin by choice, while pretending to make great sacrifices so that the children can eat the white meat on escarole, my favorite lettuce, dressed just with Malden, mellow yellow, cold pressed rapeseed oil, lemon, and lots of English mustard. Okay, so she's incorporating the ingredients in the photo into her food diary. So the photo that I previously described was taken for this food diary. Okay. And, she mentioned, like, I didn't have time to take a picture of my breakfast. None of these people are sharing photos of their food, which would have actually been amazing. But yeah, none of them did that for some reason. Okay. I don't like the cartilage or the skin of a roast chicken. I mean, maybe the skin if it's crispy, but the cartilage, I don't know. I guess that's fine if that's what she wants to eat. Just cartilage, like a cat. I don't know. I guess that sounds like a pretty good day. It doesn't sound like she eats a whole lot, but she's also so busy. Tuesday. Breakfast. Made an egg and bacon sandwich for one of the children, but then ran too late to have breakfast myself. Not a good start to the day. Made worse by the fact that I was going to a photographic shoot, which always makes me nervy. Ooh, a photographic shoot. That doesn't make sense to me. You spent the time to make your child a sandwich, but couldn't also like crack an extra egg for yourself while the pan was hot. I don't understand that. I wonder if she wanted to be feel skinny for her photo shoot in her American Apparel top leotard. Lunch. Made up for lack of breakfast by eating a huge amount of rotisserie chicken, char grilled corn, and crinkly chips from Chicken Shop in Kentish Town. Don't blame them for the poor display. I had a takeaway and didn't present the food, such as my quaking hunger, to its best advantage. From this point onwards, my life started looking up. I think that's the Chicken Shop that the Chicken Shop podcast is based in. Do you know what I mean? The girl who interviews people and it's just called Chicken Shop. Yeah, I think that's the Chicken Shop. Well, maybe it's a chain. I don't know. So she had char grilled corn, crinkly chips, which French fries, and then rotisserie chicken. I mean, that sounds great. And I am so wrong. I'm going to apologize. She did take photos, and there is a cluster of 6 photos at the bottom, or right after the supper, which I'm going to read right now. Supper. By special request, made Risi ABC, a Venetian recipe. Think a soupy pea risotto that is a favorite in my home. I am always grateful when this is what I'm asked to cook because it's quick and easy and as comforting for the cook as the eater. Okay, so let's talk about these photos. Also, I don't know what Risi ABC is, but it sounds kind of nice. So there's a caption with a Nigella Lawson quote. I am not good when I miss meals. Being hungry makes me both murderous and suicidal. Oh, I love that they pulled that for, okay. I don't know what the first photo is. It looks like salmon and capers on a bed of arugula. And then the next photo is 2 halves of an avocado and what looks like a really dried out lemon. And then there's a bagel. It's smeared with a lot of butter and some broccolini and radicchio. And then there is a cluster of penne pasta with what looks like to be ham, cut up ham, and maybe peas. And then there is a plate of broccolini and some sort of meat that looks like it has a bone on it, maybe a rib. These photographs are extremely low res. So I'm not getting a lot of detail here. I don't know. Okay, Wednesday. Breakfast. Rye toast with mellow yellow cold pressed rapeseed oil and Vegemite. I feel a real traitor to my country choosing Vegemite over Marmite, but there it is. Lunch. Since this is a day of interviews and the meager toast with the Vegemite is wearing off to the point of panic, I order a steak and chips. True, there are only 4 chips on the plate, though I must tell you they were bigger, much bigger and hunkier than they look, but they've been generous with the béarnaise sauce. And I also have a tube of Coleman's in my bag, so I managed to get through the afternoon. Supper. By request, again, I make another of my children's favorites, penne with ham, peas, and cream. Okay, so that's the penne with ham, peas, and cream photo. I don't know, maybe I just haven't thought about it in a while, but I think that it just dawned on me that Vegemite is Australian and Marmite is British. I mean, I guess I knew that, but I didn't really think about it. I mean, I think it's okay that she's eating it. I don't think she's going to be, tried for treason. It's interesting that she has a tube of Coleman's mustard in her bag. That feels very European to me, to carry mustard around. I feel like Americans would carry a bottle of ranch or hot sauce in their bag. There was some show on TLC that I watched growing up. Maybe it's still on, but it's like My Strange Addiction, people eating couch cushion material. But there was maybe it was on MTV. I don't remember. There was one girl who carried ranch around. She was addicted to ranch, and all her friends were embarrassed when she would come to the restaurant and pull out a family-sized bottle of ranch out of her purse. Okay. So seems like she likes to eat a big lunch or no lunch at all. There's really no in between for her. Okay, Thursday, breakfast. The usual rye toast and egg and an awful lot of tea. In fact, I can never actually eat breakfast before I've had my 2 mugs of tea. Okay, well, you've left that out until now. Like that seems like it would be an important aspect of the food diary, but if it's so important to you, okay. Lunch. Have a meeting at home over lunch. So roast a butterflied leg of lamb along with a tin of sliced pink fir apple potatoes, yellow courgette, cherry tomatoes, leeks, and black olives. There is no particular design to this vegetable mixture. I was just giving my fridge a bit of a going through and bunged everything that need to be used up into a roasting tin. That is an insane lunch. But I guess she's a lunch person. She had a butterflied leg of lamb for lunch with what are sliced pink fir apple potatoes and in a tin? Hold on. Pink fir, F-I-R, apple. I mean, it's a type of potato. Thank you. Tin, but why are they tinned? I'm looking on Wikipedia. The pink fir apple potato is a main crop potato variety with a long, knobby shape, pink skin, and creamy, waxy flesh. Its shape makes it difficult to peel unless boiled before peeling. Pink fir apple potato was first imported to the United Kingdom from France in 1850 and in 1996 crossed with the Desiree variety to form the Anya potato for Sainsbury's supermarkets. Okay. It's sort of a long, knobby potato, like a fingerling. Um, Tin of sliced potatoes and then yellow. I don't know. That kind of sounds terrible to me. Those seem to me like um, a, a a strange assortment of vegetables that might not cook well together. I think there are too many of them. First of all, with competing flavors, and some of them are going to be way overcooked. I think by the end of it. Um, I wonder. I don't know if she. Maybe that's what. I don't know. I can't. I don't think it showed up in the photos. Okay. Also, the tense and the grammar of her um, food diary for the lunch was strange. Have a meeting at home. So roast a butterflied leg of lamb. Okay. Supper. Although I complied with children's wishes, making them burgers, not homemade, I must own up, but Heston's from Waitrose. Waitrose? With plastic cheese, potatoes cut somewhere between wedges and chips, roasted with garlic cloves and pancetta cubes, and a rather 1970s looking salad. I needed the simple salve of an avocado, eaten with nothing more than a spritz of lemon and a snowy throw of salt. I did succumb to some Buja Buja champagne truffles later, but I never feel so bad about that. Wow, her first dessert. And yeah, so this must be the photograph of the avocado with the dried out lemon. So she just ate an avocado for dinner. I think we need to intervene a little bit. I do love that she called like Kraft Singles plastic cheese. I mean, not only does it taste like plastic, but then it comes in a plastic sleeve of its own. I was just thinking that you could just mail a plastic Kraft Single in an envelope and it would probably transport pretty well. I've been dog sitting for the past 10 days and the dog won't eat his, well, we call it supper. You have to use the word supper so he understands what you're saying, which actually Nigella uses the same word. He won't eat his supper unless you cover it in Kraft Singles and shredded cheese. So her children, that seems to me, I don't know why I needed to mention that, but you would think that that was cruel behavior towards a dog and he was going to die soon, but he's actually almost 14 and he's a big dog. So maybe the preservatives in the plastic cheese are keeping him alive. The potatoes cut up with garlic, cloves, and pancetta sounds great. But I always think, I mean, it's a whole garlic clove, but I feel like potatoes need to roast for so long to get that nice crisp. And the garlic cloves are going to burn by then, you'd think. Also, Heston's from Waitrose. There's a link. She's got some linked products in here. Okay, so it's taking me to a broken page. It says 410 gone. I wonder if that's the British version of 404. So this is a grocery store, but they also have a cellar, a florist, a garden. They have a really nice website. They sell Doritos and half price freezer fillers. Ooh, they have Red Bull. Oh, here we go. Waitrose Summer 4 beef smash burgers with bone marrow. Oh, it's like a 4-pack of pre-made smash burgers with bone marrow. 5 pounds. Waitrose sweet corn fritters. Waitrose sweet potato empanadas. Ooh, hot honey halloumi kebabs, chicken souvlaki pastries, essential British loose carrots. I wonder if this grocery store is good. Mackey's traditional ice cream. That looks good. Perfectly ripe avocados. Interesting. I bet this place is expensive. I don't really know what British grocery prices are supposed to be, but it seems expensive. And what are these Booja champagne truffles? I mean, these are all going to be broken links. Oh no, this is still a thing. Their packaging is hideous. It looks like Lisa Vanderpump designed it. It's a little too much, a little too gilded, a little too busy, a little too frou-frou. You know, if you've ever been to a Lisa Vanderpump establishment, which I have been, not to brag, and it was terrible. The food was horrendous. And the waiter didn't know anything and was mean. But I did see Lisa Vanderpump and her husband there. They sat at a table. Where did we go? Did we go to Pump? Or I think we went to Pump. Sat on the patio with my sisters. Got a terrible cocktail. What did we get? The Pumptini? Very strong. You really only need one. Okay, back to Nigella Lawson. Friday, breakfast, smoked salmon, coarsely ground white pepper, lemon juice, and lots of dill. For me, the best way to eat it. I am very fussy about the smoked salmon, though. It must be London Cure, which is so lusciously mild that it's more like eating wafer-thin sashimi than anything else. I get mine, as my grandmother did before me, from Panzer's in St. John's Wood, despite the schlep. And there's a link. Let's go to Panzer's. Sounds like a sports bar that you would get date raped at. Oh, it's like a Jewish place. And they have Rosh Hashanah gifts available. Ooh, they have hampers. Like gift hampers, I guess. It looks very nice. And I do like the idea of a London, like a light smoke, because I think in my last episode I did talk about how I don't like smoke flavor, especially if it's fake. But I mean, a smoked salmon doesn't bother me as much. But a London Cure, that is a good thing to know about. I don't like that she added white pepper. So this must be the photograph of the salmon, or what I thought was salmon on arugula, unless that's something else, because salmon has capers all over it and she never mentioned capers, so I'm not sure. I mean, wait, so she just ate smoked salmon? So she just had smoked salmon for breakfast with white pepper, lemon juice, and dill. That's a little strange. Nothing else. Okay. Lunch, a frantic day, and much as I like having proper meals and not grab snacks, lunch today is a toasted sandwich. Still, it's a very good toasty. Buttery crisp on the outside, lined with ham as thin and tender and pink as a kitten's tongue, and gooey with Jarlsberg. I love that description. Ham thin and tender and pink as a kitten's tongue? I don't like Jarlsberg. I think it's a little too bitter. It's like the IPA of cheese. I've heard of Toasties. It sounds like a good thing to have available. You know, I was thinking the other day, I miss the life that you could have in a city like New York, and apparently London probably, where you could just grab a sandwich anywhere. And even moving to somewhere like Chicago. Well, okay, so I was in New York. You could grab a bagel, you could grab a breakfast sandwich, you could grab a sandwich at any bodega, anywhere, and coffee. I mean, you never had to worry. You could just rush out of your house on your way to work and grab something. Very, very supportive of the worker commuter lifestyle. Chicago was completely the opposite. I don't even know what people eat for breakfast there. No one has corner shops where you can get a bagel. There aren't any bagels. There aren't any affordable cheap sandwiches. They have some sandwich shops, but they're specialty. What are people eating? I sort of started to realize that people in Chicago were eating tamales for breakfast, which was great. And, there were tamale ladies who would stand on corners with coolers of tamales, or like a cart sometimes if they had sort of made it in the tamale corner world. But yeah, I guess everyone was just eating breakfast at home in Chicago. And here too in the Triangle. I mean, I don't know. Leaving New York, having to give that up, the convenience of being able to eat whatever you want at any time at an affordable rate. I guess that's why I cook at home a lot, because that's just what you have to do. I could drive 15 minutes up to town and go to the local bakery there, but I mean, they are New York, LA prices, so it's just not worth it. It's New York, LA prices, but they're not even using organic flour, organic ingredients. And I'm like, what am I paying for? I would rather buy good flour and make something on my own, or buy organic things at the grocery store and cook. So why am I ranting about this? Oh, because Nigella was able to grab a sandwich and live her life. And I guess I missed that. There is a bagel shop near campus. I work around UNC Chapel Hill, and there's a Brandywine bagel shop. It's pretty good. It's not a New York bagel, but it's good. They have a nice variety of bagel sandwiches. They do like a really good bacon, egg, and cheese. One complaint I have about them is that I ordered a sandwich from them. It was some sort of turkey on a bagel sandwich. And one of the main components of the sandwich was a very sweet and potent sun-dried tomato jam, which was not listed on the menu. And I really don't want to eat that. And that's just not appealing to me at all. And I think if that's going to be such a main thing on your sandwich, you have to list it and tell people that. And also for allergy considerations. It's every time I go in there, it's a bunch of like undergrad UNC Chapel Hill girls working in there. So maybe they're not, up to speed on their food and their health code. But they all, one positive aspect is that they're all really nice. They all really seem like they love working there, and service is really quick. So Brandywine Bagels, and they have parking, which is great. There's also Isaac's Bagels in Durham. We met Isaac and his partner at a party once, and he was about to open the shop. I think he was selling at the farmer's market for a while. He lived in New York. I think he's actually from England. And he's from, I think, the Oxford area in England. He does a good bagel. They do a really good bacon, egg, and cheese with the plastic craft singles, as you need to. I think you need a craft single for a bacon, egg, and cheese for a true experience. It's a good bagel shop. I think that Benchwarmer Bagel in Raleigh is the place to go. They do a really good, chewy, New York style bagel. There is a decent, I've had a lot of bad bagels in Chicago, but there is like a New York bagel and Bialy place in the northern suburbs that is, I don't know, did I have a bagel from there? I've never been there, but I might have eaten a bagel. Well, I think my sister's roommate went up there and brought bagels back, but didn't buy cream cheese. And I don't know. I don't even know if we ended up eating one, because what's the point? But okay. So back to Nigella. We're talking about Friday supper time. Going to see Michael McIntyre at the O2. So supper has to be a picnic on the way there. I have an old picnic box I bought on eBay and make a few batches of rice noodle and prawn salad with bean sprouts, sugar snaps, and a lot of ginger, chili, and soy to go inside it. Friends were going on a supply of champagne, and given that I can get drunk on one glass, I am reeling by the time I get home. Fantastic night, though, topped off by a buttered toasted bagel on my return, followed by crisps and chocolate. Wow, so I guess she has to get a little bit hammered to eat. And I mean, for her, that seems like a binge, eating a buttered toasted bagel and potato chips and chocolate. I don't understand the grammar of the sentence. Friends, we are going with a supply of champagne and given, I don't understand what that means. I don't know what the O2 is. That must be a venue. Let's see. London. I mean, the O2. Yeah, it's an arena. Okay. I wonder if that's what U2 is named after. Or maybe the O2 is named after U2. She got a picnic box on eBay. This rice noodle salad and with prawns sounds great. Wow. Okay, Saturday. Oh, also, I have no idea who Michael McIntyre is. Hold on, let me look up that. Let me see what she's up to. Michael McIntyre, British comedian and writer. I don't know if I know who he is. Let's see if he was on anything. I guess he has a talk show, or he did have a talk show. Big Fat Quiz. Oh, he was on Big Fat Quiz with Jimmy Carr. I watch a lot of clips of British, funny British shows on my TikTok, and I think my current favorite British comedians are Bob Mortimer and Joe Wilkinson. Is that his name? They're funny. Oh, and of course, James Acaster. He's really funny. Excuse me. Okay, my cat is being rough. Okay, so Saturday. Breakfast. Get up too late for breakfast. But manage a good lunch after the night before and pre-opening snoop at Colbert of fried eggs with black pudding and crepes with lemon and sugar. So breakfast is lunch. So she only had 2 meals this day. Okay, so she went to a restaurant in Chelsea in London called Colbert. Fried eggs with black pudding and crepes. Okay. She got up too late for breakfast. Oh, because she was drunk the night before. Supper. I live very near the Chelsea fishmonger and generally throw myself at Rex, the fishmonger, and get myself comfortably overstocked for the weekend. Tonight's supper is part of this catch. Halibut, juicily roasted and plonked on top of some Treviso leaves, with broccoli cooked with garlic oil, anchovies, and chili, and dry white vermouth. That's the Dolan, the bottle of Dolan in the picture. This is what I use whenever I want white wine taste, but without having to open a bottle. That's actually really smart. I know it sounds odd, but unless we're having friends over, it never occurs to me to open a bottle of wine. Yeah, I mean, I never want to open a bottle of wine and drink it myself, and I don't know if it's, I don't want it to go to waste. Sorry, I just paused the podcast and answer my phone. My mother-in-law was calling me over and over. I thought something was wrong, but she has COVID, so I guess something is wrong. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to agree with Nigella Lawson that opening up a bottle of wine to cook with is a risk, especially because most of the time I'm buying somewhat, not expensive, but I'm buying a bottle of wine north of $15, $20. So to just use it for cooking and then bottle it, especially a white where I feel like a white turns faster on you. Anyway, so I might have to get into this Dolan, like a four. Why can't I think of the name? Like a forfeited, fortified, not forfeited, a fortified wine. Actually, I used to have a bottle of sake around, and was using that to cook with in a similar way. And I made a vodka sauce with it. So I guess I made a sake sauce, and it was great. Okay, so Sunday, Nigella Lawson Sunday. So this is a full week, which is nice, and it's quite long. Breakfast. Up too late for breakfast, but I do manage a supersized cappuccino in bed with the papers. Lunch. Tuna tartare with capers, lemon zest, spring onions, and rocket. This takes about 3 minutes to make and is a virtuous reward for the lazy and the greedy. Okay, so that's the picture of the smoked salmon on the rocket, which is arugula. Spring onions, lemon zest, the capers. Sounds great. But I don't really understand what she means. Like she's you can have breakfast when you wake up. I mean, I'm up too late for breakfast. I mean, I feel like the thing that you eat when you wake up is breakfast. I feel like she's just making excuses for herself to not have to eat. Supper. Ever since the children have been teenagers, the ritual of Sunday lunch has been shunted onto Sunday supper. Tonight we're having pork belly slices. Think melting meat and triumphant melting meat and triumphant bronze crackling with soy and cumin gravy, mashed potato, and broccoli. I've been experimenting with some mini versions of my cappuccino pavlova and have some bases left, as well as some coffee ice cream from Monday. So do a housekeeping job of getting rid of the two together. That's my excuse. Anointed with a sticky, gleaming drizzle of golden syrup, which, along with Malden's and Coleman's, constitute a holy trinity of great British foodstuffs. I really love the words that she uses to describe food. It is very sumptuous, and it gives you it feels like you have a bite of food in your mouth when you're reading her gleaming drizzle of golden syrup. I can taste it in my mouth. It's not often that I see the word triumphant written out, and I really stumbled that threw me off. So her children have been teenagers this whole time. I thought, I don't know, reading this food log, I thought she had young children and her life was really hard and she didn't have time for herself. And she's arguing with the children about what to eat. I don't know. I mean, I guess they're going to argue with you more when they're teenagers about, I don't know. I don't have children, so I have no idea. I guess they're always a chore no matter what age. Just a different type of chore. So that sounds like a nice Sunday supper. I will say that here in the South, and I know it's because we're in an agricultural region, the Sunday dinner is at noon, because I don't know. I mean, I read into it once the history of why people in the South, when they say dinner, it's in the afternoon, it's not at night, because of the agricultural schedule that they once had. And they actually needed to eat in the middle of the day, and then have supper at night, but different dietary needs. And then it changed in the North because nobody was working in the fields and people had what they call dinner at night. So when my mother-in-law, who is very Southern, always has Sunday dinner, well, I was very confused. I always thought we were going to be meeting up at night. And I've slowly learned that she means noon, 1 p.m. That's dinner here. But I mean, the word is a little bit interchangeable. Like she says, we're going out. Well, does she say going out to dinner? Going out to eat, maybe she says. One of my favorite things that she says is she pronounces the word O-N, on. She says, turn the TV on. Or if something is all gone, she says it's all gone. Own and gone. Those are my favorite pronunciations of hers. But yeah, slowly learning how to interpret the way that people talk down here. It's not all that difficult. It's far more easier than understanding British English sometimes, I think. Uh, I don't know all these words all the time. I guess I knew what rocket was. That's arugula. But I think there were a couple of things in here where I was like, crisps are potato chips. Okay, so that I really like this celebrity food log. I think they did a really nice job with this, and I would like to maybe read more of these. Actually, maybe I'll do Angela Hartnett next because I do know who she is, and I quite like her. I'm just scrolling through right now, and it doesn't seem like hers are. Oh, hers is very short for some reason, much shorter than Nigella's. But next time, we don't have time. I have to go. Bye bye.